We are going to conclude the fourth of our 4 pillars at Synergos. We've already heard from Peggy on inner work. Abera talked to us about his experience with bridging leadership and how he lives it and embodies it. Emmanuel Garza walked us through a very engaging, active series of exercises around systems thinking, which at least I know for me as a visual learner, that is so helpful to really making it stick. And now we have our final pillar, collaboration and multi-sectoral partnerships, which Wanda Engel, who's our country director in Brazil, has been leading our efforts there for how many years? How many years have you been? Brazil. Yeah. 30 years, basically, from almost the origins with Peggy. So she has a wealth of experience to share, and we're thrilled to have her share her experiences for this final session.
30 years around Synergos, but only, let me see, 5 years into Synergos in the Brazil director. Okay. To build, it's very, very good to accumulate experience. And accumulate experience in Synergos, in out of Synergos. I have the opportunity to have a lot of hats. I found an NGO. I live in the NGO world. I spent 5 years in local government. I was the Secretary of Social Development. I was for the national level. I was the Minister of Social Development. I have an experience in IDB, Inter-American Development Bank. I was the Chief of Social Policy. And in the private sector, in all these chess, my concern was about fragmentation, about a lot of efforts put in the solution of the problems, and the results are very, very, very less than the efforts. Synergos put in me the seed of like a faith about the power of synergy, the power of collaboration, the power of joint different sectors and put a common agenda, and all the sectors, all the people with the common agenda work together. I identify myself with my colleague. My great fears are to talk in English. You have the guarantee. You have the you have the guarantee. I am more intelligent in Portuguese than in English. that's terrible. Okay. My intention in this presentation is to reflect about why collaboration, but especially how to construct the structure and the function of a partnership, a multi-sector partnership. This kind of question guide my decision, the decision of Synergos Brazil, to experience a partnership, to have the experience, the concrete experience, to promote a partnership in a state with it's very similar, including from here. It is a lot of water, but not seawater. The Amazon River and the affluents, and the house of the people. I saw the presentation, is very similar. But, to promote a multi-sector partnership, to learn how to do it, to learn how the best model to use it, to implement. And what are the risks? What are it's like, in Portuguese, there is a dor e a delícia, the pain and the pleasure to promote a multi-sector partnership. Well, why partnership? If you, we are in this moment, the complex, the social problems are becoming more and more complex, more and more global problems. And I think that the societies are recognizing the gravity of these problems, because these problems affect all the sectors, all the people. Violence, war, refugees, it's a problem absolutely complex and demand not a simple solution, demand a complex solution also. But in general, there is the different views of the problem, and the different views promote mistrust and polarization. The solutions are not accepted for all the people. And in the other side, we have advances. We have the recognition of the multidimensionality of the problems. All the people recognize that these problems is absolutely complex and increase the social responsibility. The private sector, the NGOs, all the sectors are increase the notion that they have to do something. But in the side of the advance, there is now the United Nations started with the rights, the summits of rights, etc. After that, the Millennium Development Goals said, no, you have to be concerned about the rights, but you have to be committed with clear objectives, clear goals. And it was a very good strategy to advance in this problem. And now, passou demais. And now, the Sustainable Development Goals, that's very interesting, because the UN said the problem of poverty is not only a social problem. It's a social, economic, environment problem, and has to articulate these three policies. But more than that, said the problem of poverty is not the problem of poor countries, is the problem of all the countries, because affect to all. In this sense, the SDGs joined all the countries, not only the poor. And said that if you have to join all this kind of countries and the areas, etc., you have to have a multi-sector partnership. The 17 objective is to implement partnership, multi-sector partnership. There are conscience about the necessity of this kind of strategy. Okay, the progress is not visible. This is a very huge necessity to increase the impact of the multiple efforts about this kind of problems. Okay, multi-sector partnerships. We try to do it in the large sense. It's not collaborate between the organs of the government, between private sector, how to cross sectors, cross. Okay, and we try to do it in Pará. Pará, it's Amazon states, in an initiative named Pact of Education of Pará. Pará has a huge possibility to development. It has mining, diversity, biological diversity, kind of agriculture, the production of energy, huge possibility. But the education results are a huge problem, because they can produce the human capital necessary to make this development. Well, the pact, only to have an idea, the territory of Pará is 1.25 million kilometers square. It's 4 times the size of Philippines, 4 size. The population is 8 million. You have 100 million in Pará, 8 million, and 4 times the size of Philippines. Well, that is because the forests, the forest, the population is disseminated, and very difficult to reach, because they are in the border of the rivers, in the island. There is cities in the island of Marajó. To go to Belém, the capital of Pará, to this city, 24 hours but in 24 hours. Because of this, I spend 29 hours to be here. Okay. 144 municipalities, 4,000 schools, and 800 students. That's the total. Well, the pact was the first. We have one only goal, to increase the index of education in Pará in 30%. We have, for this, we have training people, educators, and all the professional in education, improve education management in the schools, in the system. We are talking about the collaboration of the new generation. We have in Brazil some project, some program to put the youth in the very important information from Harvard in the public sector. It's very interesting, this program. We have 4 of these guys in the... Okay, improve the management, improve the infrastructure of the schools. The schools, the roof are falling. It's unbelievable. And mobilization of the school community, the families, the society, big mobilization in function of the increase the results. And use the technology for the management, the technology for the pedagogical. With the technology, we can have the best teacher in physical in the Marajó Island. No good professor could be there, but with technology, you could do it. Technology could be one of the most important instruments to increase the education. Well, we reach this, no, totally. We reach the results only in the municipalities. We try to prototype. 40 municipalities who that want to be the models for the other one. In this municipality, we reached there, but in general, no. It's very interesting. In the second year of the initiative, the national results are the same, are published. And Pará, in 2 years, grow in all the level. In this moment, the government of Pará said, it's a good program. I want to be the leader of the partnership. And Synergos go out before transfer the technology of multi-sector to the government. A partir in this moment, the multi-sector partnership was decreased in results. But only to know, in this moment, there is a huge transformation in the political area in Brazil. And the governor of Pará changed for the worst politicians, corrupt, and possibly the sustainability of the pacto is now in risk in the state level. But I am sure that in the municipality, the sustainability will be guaranteed. Okay, but you have important gains in enrollment. The difference between 2012 and 2017. In all the indicators, the change was very, very important. Okay. What we... Hello? No. No. What? Anybody can help me? Hello? We try to design the methodology. We came to design the technical approach. It's not easy. We has to have a partnership identified, and to identify and mobilize. The partnership has to construct a common agenda, but there are a lot of things to do with this partnership. But I will talk about this in the current. Agora. Well, for first of all, you have basic requirements. Something, the first of all is personal transformation. People has to transform themselves to contribute to the social transformation. PEG is the most, I think, the representative of the faith in the personal transformation. And she work in this team, and that is important. And the second one is system thinking. We have the presentation of Manuel. The system thinking is essential to the multi-sector partnership, because only with the whole vision, the whole picture, we can realize the multidimensionality of the problem. Not yet in the context, out of the part of no, the iceberg. the visible part of the iceberg, to understand the multiple factors in the context, to understand the tendency, the photo and the films, and the invisible factors. The most important, the mental model, changed by personal transformation. But only there is a theoretical talking about the 4 quadrants of the transformation: the personal, the interpersonal, the cultural, and the structural. You have to work in the 4 quadrants. What happened? What happened? No. No. Huh?
Not that I did any better. When you want to go to the next slide, just say next, and they'll go to the next.
Okay, I hate to do it, but okay. I will put all. Okay. Essential. Part of the essential of the partnership is personal transformation, system things. The system things, there are, when you realize the complexity, you want to give up. All of these, you have to identify the leverage points. For example, the wolf was a leverage point to modify the environment. The dropout could be the leverage point for the use, the new generation. Because in Brazil now, it was a research, and 83% of the youth in prison dropped out the school in the elementary school. And if you retain the youth in the school until to finish the basic education, you can avoid 30% of youth involved in crime. Okay, trust. We talk about trust. Trust is the catalyst element of a partnership. Without trust, there is no partnership. But to build trust, it's so difficult, especially when you have an environment with huge conflicts. Conflict is something, is part of partnership, is part. You can avoid it. You can put under the carpet. Because inevitably, it's not avoided. But you have to management the conflict, né? To identify the causes and management the conflict, because the conflicts appear in some moment. The third one is new types of leadership, né? Here is the bridge leadership. The bridge leadership is essential, né? You can make a process, a collaboration process without bridge leaders. But also collaborative leaders, leaders who share the power among the partners. Important, very important, is collaborative learning. Collaborative learnings, I think that's the most important gain for the partners. It's to learn together, to learn with the other kinds of vision, to construct new vision. It has to be a collaborative learning, but it is not natural. You have to promote this, to create safe spaces for this, and share experience. A lot of events, because you have to have the intention to promote the collaborative learning. The constructive use of power. Power will be different in a partnership, and not to be avoid to use to have the different power. You have to use these different kinds of power and to integrate the different kind of power and empowerment the less empowered partners. Because power is important, is an instrument to make the transformation. Military has power, put the military, but not, it's another thing, not avoid the military, thinking about the military has a hegemonic group. You have to identify in this group the person who can be bring in the partner. New forms of communication. Communication is basic in partnership. Not only communication between the partners, but between the partners and the society, but not only communication, but a new form of communication, a non-violent form of communication. A communication with the people, the listening. The listening is absolutely important in communication. And this new form is absolutely important. And resilience. Resilience, a lot of resilience, because the process is not easy. The process is not, the process of transformation is not linear. It's something like a wave. Go and resistance and come back, but not to original point. Come back and gain force and go and back, go and back. When back, oh my God, it's not possible, but it's part of the process. Okay, this is, next. The initial conditions. The initial conditions, okay. You have to have the awareness of the seriousness of the problem. When where is Manuel? Talking about the como é que o que houve no México? Agora esqueci em português. O tremor da terra. Yes. it's a tragedy. And all the people goes to help. Some kind of problems is the same. People has to have the awareness that we are lost our youth. We are lost the new generation. Lost for the crime, for lost. The most important richness of a country. And if you have this conscience, but you believe that it's possible to solve. Because if you believe that this problem don't have solution, why contribute? I give up. Una predisposition to creation of partnership for the public, to the government. Because one learning is that government has to be included. Without government, we can do great transformation. We have limits, and they has to be convinced that their power is less, and they need collaboration. It's important to have this conscience. Has to be money. Partnership, multi-sector partner, cost. And nobody wants to put money in the process. You have to put money in the process. You have to have money to implement new programs, new solutions. We have to have money. A minimal level of trust between stakeholders, because the trust will building in the process. But if in the start, people are absolutely in conflict, and the society is polarized. In this case, it's not possible to start a partnership. There has to be a minimum of trust in the different groups. And a team dedicated to setting up the engineering and coordinate his operation. You have to have a backbone organization. A backbone organization is like a bridge leadership organization. The organization responsible to put this in. Okay. The backbone organization functions like the conductor of our workers. Really, a multi-sector partnership is like a orchestra. Each musician contributes with a part of the music, and the music, and the whole is much more important what each contribution. But you have to have a conductor. A conductor and the common agenda is the yes, what's the name? No, shared vision. But for the orchestra, is like the partiture. The partiture. Everybody has to know what are your own parts and what your own part is contribute for the music. Yeah, but you have to have the conscience that this agenda is absolutely adaptive. Change, new partners, the change in the context. It's like a knot, but not. There has to be modify de tempos em tempos. Bom, que houve? Ok. Bom, a backbone organization has, first of all, identify and mobilizing partners. Partners in all the sectors, partners in government, partners in civil society, partners. It's very important the media be involved, because partnership is something like to put all the society in the partnership. There has to be convinced about the importance of the issue. The partners could be financial, give money to the partnership, could be programmatic, put the programs in the partnership. In Pará, we have a lot of foundations with their own projects, put this program in Pará. They could be the part of the governance, part of the committees, part of the governance of the partnership. We have to have a multi-sector and decentralized governance. Governance is to have a system commits multi-sectors to be responsible for the partnership in the different levels. In Pará, we have the state commitment. Each municipality has the municipal committee, and the schools have the school commitment. And in all this space of governance, we have this formation, the government, the civil society, etc., etc. We talk about PACT was a set of different pacts in all the levels, and it started for a personal pact of in the education in Pará. That's absolutely important. We have to have collaborative management, not only governance, but management. We have to have a PMO, some kind of organ responsible for the implementation of the programs, for the evaluation and monitoring, some specific to monitoring including the contribution of all the partners. We have to have continuous communication. We have to have reinforce, that's important. A multi-sector partnership is like a Noah's Ark, could be? Noah's Ark. One each one with their own culture, their own organization, and it's very important to construct a common culture. We are part of a group who are doing important things, and I am proud about this group. And in Pará, we have T-shirts, flags, something to rituals and symbols to reinforce and a lot of ceremonies. The ceremony for engaged people, ceremonies to recognize advances. We have like like a movie ceremony of the best results in the schools, not the best results, only the schools and who has the most improvement. Okay. Monitoring and evaluation. It's absolutely important to have common goals, and not only final goals, but intermediary goals. Intermediary goals and process goals. How many partners, how is the participation of 10 minutes, okay. And recognition about the prerequisites is legitimacy, credibility, technical knowledge, bridge leadership capacity, and high degree of resilience. Well, finally, besides the results, the mentioned results, we have to have system shares, better alignment, stronger and more effective partnership, greater involvement of the society, change in the public opinion. It's the change of legal landscape, increase investment in this. The advantages, and well, I will put all together to be quickly. Huh? Okay. The multi-sector partnership promotes the holistic understanding of the problem, more diverse answers and innovative solutions, collaborative, the synergic effect, the multiple organization joint the efforts. It's good for each one. Integration of research, collaborative process is co-responsibility, collaborative learning changes, makes changes in mental model. But we have a lot of problems also. High level of complexity, high operational costs, demand of a lot of time, risky, some partners have no collaborative skills and cannot contribute to the the results are in the medium and long term, different time between the partners. The private sector demand results in short time. Wow, what is happening? I need results. The civil society demands time for the process. The different times generates problems. And the difficulty to raise funds for a process. Okay. The learners. In 2007, go back. No, okay. In 2007, Synergos produced 10 learnings. The first one is go alone if you can. Partnership is so complex. I personally don't agree totally with this first one, because I think that only the partnership for me is absolutely important. One sector in the same sector, but because partnership is if you are alone, you have a limit of your contribution. Avoid pressure. People has to have time to construct a new vision, to understand the process, to understand the issue. Do the homework. Make a very, very, very hard analysis of the situation with the systemic view. the situation to identify the partners and to the better approach it. Identify bridge leaders, it's very important. We have to identify bridge leaders in each group of partners. Bridge leader it's not natural. You have to, there are personal conditions, but you have to capacitate, you have to support. And if you identify possible leadership, bridge leadership in each sector, you have person in each sector making the bridge between their own group and between the groups. That's essential. Personal reflection. You have to be relaxed about your own beliefs and change this with the group. Engage the community. Think big, but start small. Including the prototyping is prototyping is a very important strategy. Work in multi-level, simultaneously. Change of institutional arrangements, it's very difficult, but in the process, the people are realizing that without change the institution, is impossible to collaborate. Okay. And evaluate the tangible and the intangible. Evaluation is very important. Absolutely important, including the intermediary, because you have to celebrate the gains. We have to make the sense of, yes, it's possible. We are not in the final goals, but you reach the intermediary goal. And in Pará, we have others. Governance cannot be left out. Governance has to be included. Is problematic? Yes, very problematic. Because put a political component in something supposed to be meta-political. Over the political arena. We cannot missing the civil society, but the civil society has to have money to be included. The business is absolutely important in partnership. The workers needs a score, needs a backbone organization. A conductor, be proud to be part of this orchestra. That's the importance of methodology. In the manual presentation, we have the opportunity to feel the importance of methodology. We have to have methodologies not only rational, but emotional. The problem and the joy, the problem of work together and with the was clear. The importance of communication, the partnership cost, and finally, multi-sector partnership has power. It's powerful. They increase the collective impact of all the partners' contribution. The contribution isolated has a limit to impact. if you contribute to a big enfim, enterprise, you can. It's important to the foundations, for example. The foundations could be more effective if they joined in partnership. They allow to select the high and effective projects and integrate them organically. They contribute to greater involvement of the society in the question. I don't know. The importance is multi-sector partnership is absolutely powerful to face the complex problems. It's not possible, don't go in this way. But it's difficult, cost, it's complex, need resilience, time, have time. But it's not, and no, it's important. The cultural, reinforce values of collaboration, acceptance of difference, increase mutual trust and co-responsibility with the results. It's against the society based in sectors, in silos, in groups who don't trust between themselves, discriminate, and almost eliminated in some cases. Culturally, is absolutely important for the society. And function with social control, reducing corruption and improving the quality of the service. That's it. It's a pleasure to be here, and sorry about the English.
Vanda, thank you. And the English was great and perfect, so got the point across, yes. So thank you. But we wanted to make sure that there was space and time if anyone has questions for Vanda and just the incredible work that she has led the team through in Brazil. I think all of us appreciate and know that complexity also takes a personal toll as well, and so you're very smiley and present, but I know that you've managed a lot, so. But any questions for Vanda and her experience? Esha.
Thank you, Wanda, for the wonderful presentation. I was trying to draw learning from your presentation because we have to engage in a similar kind of a capacity in bringing about collaboration in the project that I do. But just one query from you and a curiosity. Can you give us an idea about the realistic and logical time frame that is required to bring about, to see any outcome from this approach or a strategy? Because often enough it's a donor-driven projects and we have to negotiate with the donor over the time frame. So what is a realistic time frame? Thank you.
We spent this year to document the experience. It's part of Education in Pará report and evaluation, and this publication is in the Synergos website. In the case of Pará, we spent 6 months in the preparation, 3 years in the intermediary phase, and 2 years in the consolidated and institutionalization. 5 years and a half. In this publication, we describe the phases. the preparatory, the preliminary phase, the initial phase, the intermediate, and the conclusion, the final phase. And which we doing in each phase. And based in the experience, we make a guide for collaborative strategies. It's a preliminary version because Synergos is working to put the contribution of all the directors around the world to complete this guide. But this guide in this first version is also in Synergos website. Collaborative Strategies for Complex Social Problems, a guide to multi-sector partnership. That's it.
That's great. I am aware that we're running a bit behind time, so I'll take one more question, but I think we'll be sure to find a way to get this link circulated, so those that want to read more in depth about how the process really turned out. And Vonda, you'll be around for a little bit after if people want to connect with you. But here, we'll take one last question before we move on.
Thank you. I'm just curious how you did collaboration with the new generation. What did you find most crucial in engaging the new generation for the program?
Well, the new generation, we have two kinds of new generation participating in the program. One was the students. The students in the schools are the most important partner in their own schools. The schools has had the day of the pact in the schools, and the students prepare this and joint all the partners of the school and make discuss the problems of the school in high school. In elementary school, not so specific, but in high school, the students contribute a lot for this. And we have the participation of these trainees, people in a lot of committees. We have the representative of the youth. But we have the collaboration in the management. This project with trainees from the most important universities. Very important for the... But we try to involve the also. Try to involve the university. Yeah? The university has a huge possibility. Research, the participation with the people in their graduated area, not only in education, but in other kinds of, for example, in architecture, to help the schools to modify their could be, and yes. And when they participate in this kind of experience, they change their mental model in the moment of the formation. It's very, very important. If you can involve the university, there is two advantages for the project, for the partnership, and for the students in the university.
Thank you so much, Vonda, for sharing, and we will make sure to make you available for other questions. So stick around afterwards.
Thank you, thank you.
So with that, that brings to a close the four presentations that we've had, and I will now turn it over to Dinky Solomon to synthesize what happened yesterday with today and to give us some closing thoughts.
Thank you very much. And may I request, I know that this is the last 30 minutes of our time together. Some of you, in your minds, you're already riding your airplanes. And some of you are already taking the bus. So may I request that we just all sit down. All the waiters can stand, but all participants, can we first sit down, take a deep breath, and give 30 minutes of our time to just focus on just going very quickly into what has happened this last day and a half. Today, a last day and a half means a very packed schedule, a very packed sharing, a very condensed learning collaboration. So this is a synthesis that's being given to you in a very abbreviated form. And I want to thank the documenters for helping me out on this. Can I have the PowerPoint, please? So this is a synthesis of day one. Next. Seeds planted by Synergos in South Africa sprouted in the Philippines. As said by Max when he opened, seeds were planted, it grew, some didn't. In the Philippines, it sprouted. AIM, under the leadership of Ernie Garilao and others who collaborated with him, developed the theory and practice of bridging leadership. And we saw the products, the outcomes of that with the various panel discussions we've had, and again, in a very abbreviated, not full narratives of what it took for them to do what they did in their different sectors. Mirant and Team Energy actually gave an endowment so that it can happen, and it continues to provide that, to support the BL Center in AIM. AIM developed the curriculum tailor-fitted to the different sectors in government, bureaucracy, CSOs, military, local government officials on a sectoral basis. So we saw health, we saw agrarian reform, social protection, peace and order, as some of the sectors that we heard in our sharing yesterday. And I think one important sharing that Manny gave is that they've already started to look at young people, youth, the millennials, and bridging leader. So that was the first part of day one. Next. Then we had the panel discussion on BL and the health, one pathway that grew out of the AIM experience was bringing bridging leadership in the health sector led by Zwillig Family Foundation. And that's again headed by Ernie. And ZFF really looked at BL for positive health outcomes. And I think the most important thing there is Ernie emphasizing that it was important to have clear outcomes, and that using bridging leadership without the health outcomes is not effective. So they built the practice, the theory, the practice. They developed the indicators of the end game, which are the health indicators, infant mortality, maternal mortality, and others. They developed the competencies that will bring in the indicators of the end game, and they developed measurements for these competencies. They developed a monitoring template. As Ernie said, if anybody has worked with him, you all know he works with templates. Give plus or minus, as he said, but the templates are there, the green, the yellow, and the red, to help the different practitioners who were trained, such as the mayors, the governors, the civil servants in the bureaucracy, to monitor their progress if they were on the green, the yellow, and the red zone. I think what is most important is that all of this was also shared, and they developed academic partners who in turn began training other interested parties to learn about bridging leadership. And if I can digress for a second, DSWD actually benefited from this because the academic partners were training community facilitators and the staff of DSWD. So this is the ZFF contribution and development of having a very clear BL in producing positive health outcomes at the different levels of governance and geographic areas. Next. In the panel discussions, we had a discussion on bureaucracy. And what I'm going to do is just highlight some of the things that were brought up in the panel discussions as documented and as I heard. So in the bureaucracy, it was acknowledged there is resistance of civil service for change. But the BL process, there were 3 agencies who demonstrated that they can do reform as they perform their functions and duties. That's DOST of ARM, that's DOH, and that's DSWD. Using the BL tools and the BL framework and tools. For mayors and governors, what was most important to them after going through the BL training, they learned how to listen to the people, they learned how to engage with the people, and in so doing, began doing their programs and their governance in a convergent and collaborative way. In terms of the military, it was difficult, but I think what stood out in the sharing is that it's all about people-oriented development using the BL framework. In academic partners, researchers, and training of more BL practitioners was what they shared and how they did it, how they were able to multiply themselves, and how they were able to use the different tools that they have been developing and innovating as they do it to be tailor-fitted or appropriate methods based on the geography and the situation that they were in, because it's across the nation that we have academic partners. And for the civil society organizations, I'll be bringing in keywords that came out. That the practice of BL had brought in heart and mind, courage and consistency, song, dance, fun, talking to spirit guides, and nature speaking. Those were the sharing that were highlighted in the CSO. In private sector, partnership, collaboration, listen to the people, decisions guided by the common good. Profit, people, planet. That was what was shared in the private sector group. Next slide, please. In day 2, and this is a very rough attempt of, again, keywords that came out, inner work, inside the heart, the mind, the gut, from past to present. In other words, it's really looking inside you and going back to from the past, going into the present, and how that affects you right now. Lesson from Abera: openness, forgiveness, helping the people as the center of the energy of your work, and people pressure to make parties or different groups work together when they don't want to work together. Systems thinking, seeing the whole, and we are part of the problem as well as the solution. Partnerships, collaboration between and among centers of power, cross-sectoral, and conflict management, constructive use of power, and collaborative learning were keywords that were the common themes that were coming out of the sharing of Wanda. Next slide, please. Next steps. There were 2 people who came in with their thoughts. How can we meaningfully build on each other's gain? And can BL be translated into a national ethos? The biggest challenge ever. And then there were suggestions. Continue to meet and learn from each other. Build on each other's gains, as said. Have a safe space to rest and reflect. And Team Energy yesterday at the end said, Team Energy is committed to support the building of a center to respond to the suggestions. And can Ricky stand up and Okay, okay, okay. May I correct myself? May I correct myself? Team Energy was the one who said and is committed, but I know that there are other partners who would like to invest and would like to continue supporting this kind of effort, such as Film Foundation. Now, I want to say that at this point, just to let you know what's going to happen next, I'm going to say our thank yous, and then after that, we're going to end with a song. We cannot end a meeting in the Philippines without a song. And we're going to be led by Colonel Bim on that song. But this song is dated, and so the millennials may not know the songs, but many of the people in this room I know the song. So let me first do my my thank yous. After which, the thank yous and the song do not go, because again, we cannot have a meeting in the Philippines without a photo opportunity of the whole. So we will have a banner with photo, and that's going to be the end, okay? So, first of all, I would like to acknowledge, and can we call them all in? Can we call them all in? Tere, the head of the Secretariat, can we get all of the Secretariat to come in? And we just want to acknowledge and give them thank you, give them a round of applause. People have really been in the background, but they've been working on this for almost 2 months. So I think the Secretariat, can you all come in, please? We just want to acknowledge you. Please give them a round of applause. Secretariat, come on in. This is the team of Tere, and we would like to thank you. Thank you, Secretariat, for doing everything that you did for us. Here they are. They're the Secretariat coming in. And we would like to thank the documenters. Round of applause for us to be able to do this. Please. We would like to also thank the technical people. Give them a round of applause. Maraming salamat sa technical. Maraming salamat. And we would like to thank the waiters and the people who have been serving us. Maraming salamat. Thank you for that. I'd like to make a special mention to Lala, who is the one who helped us organize this room. Thank you very much, Lala. And now, I think we should give a round of applause, acknowledge Film Life Foundation led by Max for hosting this venue, and thank you, and your colleagues, because Max is a whole team also here working with us. Of course, this could not have happened without the support and the funding that was provided by Team Energy, Ricky De Castro, and his team. He had also a whole team here. Maybe you should get your team. Team Energy, can you all stand up? Because the team, they all went. The team has been doing the support also. So thank you very much, Ricky. I also would like to thank Fundación Santiago, which is led by Titong. Is he still around? Round of applause for Fundación Santiago and Titong, because they were handling the focus group discussions, which help us do the substance development. And some of you were part of that focus group discussions in different parts of the Philippines. We would like to thank AIM, led by Manny De Vera there, for the support, the substance, and bringing in all the other people who are around here. And of course, Ernie Garilao and the Swilig Foundation. The Swilig people, I think, should stand up. Thank you also to the Swilig people, because they were all back, supporting us here. And of course, Synergos, who also had provided support. Peggy, Abera, Wanda, Emmanuel. I would like to say that there are two backup people who are Virginia and Kate, who has been very, very supportive. Jenna, and our two guests, Ishra and Tanvir, who had been very quietly observing. They will be doing what we have been doing here. And I just want to say that in this engagement, many of you were wondering, So what are you doing now, Dinky? Part of it is I'm part of Synergos. That's why I'm here. But very, very eager to continue working with all of you on this subject. So let's all give ourselves a round of applause for being here and getting us to here. Okay, and Peggy reminds me of our traditional in CSO world, which we introduced also to the government. Let's do our bagsak. So let's do tatlong bagsak. 1, 2, 3. And now can I invite everyone to stand up and form a circle, hold hands, and Bim and Dedet will lead us on a song which is actually, it's a song called We Shall Overcome. So I'm sure many of you, but can everyone be part of a big circle? Please hold.
Everyone, including
Everyone, please.
this is our final practice. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Go deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome someday. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome someday. We walk hand in hand. We'll walk hand in hand. We'll walk hand in hand someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome someday. We walk hand in hand. We walk hand in hand. We walk hand in hand someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome someday. Okay.
Thank you very much. And now, can we have the picture taking? Max, I need your help. So this is going to be here? Okay. So can we just move the table forward, and then we'll have people sitting down, and can we move the table out and forward? Out and to the side.
Shout out. What's a good shout out? Bridging leadership.
Okay, everyone, can we have everyone seated here? Peggy? Ernie, Peggy.